Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi light novel video. And today I am here for my predictions video about what we might be seeing in Danmachi Volume 21 and Sword Oratoria Volume 16. Now, of course, remember that this video will contain spoilers for the light novels, especially those light novels that have still not been translated yet. Of course, Danmachi Volume 20 and Sword Oratoria Volume 15. So once again, just giving you guys a warning that this video will contain spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, leave the video, come back later on, put this in your watch later list, and come back and of course check it out. But of course, if you want to stick around. We're gonna have a lot of fun discussing a lot of theories, a lot of ideas, and of course I want you guys to also leave your own theories and also your own ideas as to what might happen, and predictions. Of course, make them bold, make them crazy, and put them in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking. There will be a video actually reacting to your guys' comments as well. I've already been collecting stuff from previous videos as well, but I want you guys to leave your comments as well in this video as well, so I can check them out and see what you guys have to say down below. Of course, if you guys are going to enjoy this video as well, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Actually, before we get into the video, if you want to see my thoughts on both Danmachi Volume 20 as well as Sword Oratoria Volume 15, be sure to check out those videos. It's very important you guys check out those videos because you guys get an idea of what I'm thinking is generally happening. You guys get an idea of what I feel about the storyline and the direction it's going in, and so that way you can kind of get a bit of a gauge on what I think is going to happen better as well in this video. So just check out those videos as well. It would be truly appreciated. Now, before we get in as well, I know I'm saying before we get in multiple times, let's do a quick TLDR of where we've been, at, or where we're at currently in the story, okay? Before we go into our predictions. So, at the end of Danmachi Volume 20 and also at the same time at the end of Sword Oratoria Volume 15, we are basically at the guild with the second string of the Loki Familia returning, absolutely battered and destroyed. And of course, we hear Raoul saying that the Loki Familia has been annihilated and that they need reinforcements desperately. We know at the time that we see Belle is also right there, observing this entire situation, understanding the severity of the situation, looking around, not seeing eyes, not seeing the likes of Finn, Tiona, and so on and so forth, and realizing that it's serious. The Loki Familia is in serious trouble here. And in Sword Oratoria Volume 15, we also see that Lafia has an eye on Belle immediately when it comes to the idea of hope, when it comes to the idea of starting a rescue mission, quote unquote. Belle is the first target for her, basically, and she knows that as well, that she'll have to pair up with Belle. And we know at the end of Volume 15 as well, we saw that the white light or white rabbit, I can't remember exactly what it was, and the fairy, go in a blaze of glory and launch a counterattack, basically. That's what it was, generally speaking. I can't remember the exact quote now off the top of my head, but it was something along those lines, basically, right? It was a white rabbit and the fairy, go in a blaze of glory and basically launch a massive counterattack, basically a massive retaliation. So what we're going into, going into Volume 21 and of course Sword Oratoria Volume 16, ergo, is we're going to be probably seeing effectively a massive rescue mission, a full-blown rescue arc, effectively, which is quite interesting. Funnily enough, usually the rescue arc happens quite early on in a franchise's storyline and stuff like that. You look at Naruto Part 1 and so on and so forth. Bleach with the Soul Society stuff and everything tends to happen pretty early on, but nope, we're on Volume 21 for a full-blown rescue mission, of course, here now. But nonetheless, obviously, rescue missions are a staple, you could say, in a lot of like action, adventure, anime, and manga, to be fair, right? And so it's not really surprising that Amori is going for this as well. And obviously, with the way he's done it as well, is we're going to discover a lot of Aiza's past as well. And of course, also get an idea of what's the situation with Aiza's history as well, in terms of who she is, what she is, and so on and so forth. So it sets it up pretty well, this rescue mission, in my opinion, and it also gives a lot of characters an opportunity to grow and level up as well. So let's talk about, first and foremost, I think my predictions will start off with, of course, who I think is going to be a part of this full-blown rescue mission to, of course, save the Loki Familia. Now, let's start off with the Hestia Familia. I think that this is going to be the first case in which I do not think we're gonna see a single, a full-blown coalition of the Hestia Familia going in together. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, Gale, technically season 4, Bell was alone, right? But he still went in originally with the Hestia Familia. I think we're only going to see Ryu and Haruhime joining Bell in this rescue mission. I generally think it's only going to be Ryu and Haruhime. I know a lot of people have also been pointing out that Gale Haruhime is only level 2. How is she going to go in? You have to remember that Ahmed was also level 2. I think the thing is, a lot of people see floor 60, okay, a level 2 is no fly zone, no fly zone. No, I don't think that's necessarily the case, because I think as long as the the vanguard and of course the rear guard are able to defend the supports, which is obviously going to be something that they'll have to do, especially with a full team, effectively a full-blown 20-man, let's say, expedition. Let's call it an expedition, right? You're gonna be able to take a couple of level 2s and stuff to obviously utilize for your benefit, right? It's why Ahmed was able to join, even though she's level 2. Yes, she's the best healer, but if you're only able to heal as a level 2, I mean, come on, you're still at risk of being the an easy target for the monsters, you could say, right? So I don't think it's a problem that Haruhime is level 2. It's more so the case of everybody will have to make sure that she's being covered extremely well, right? And I think especially with the roster that I'm thinking is going to go in to save the Loki Familia, I think she'll be more than fine, to be quite honest. And of course, there's no question as to why Bell and Ryu should be going down there, of course, right? Ryu, with her Oratoria record, magic and everything, and the fact that she's level 6, obviously her stats are more like a level 5 basically, but she is a level 6, of course, right, with her magic and everything. And then of course Bell with his just sheer power and everything. And not to mention that, something we didn't really talk about too much in my compilation video, as well as in my short story video, of course, right, is Bell actually has an advantage going into the 60th floor with the whole charm situation going on and everything. There's a very good chance that Bell's Vanadis Tavere will be able to be actually activated. VT will be able to be activated, which is something we were questioning quite heavily, that skill of his, right, where basically he gets an extreme boost if he's affected by charm. We were wondering, like, where the frick is that going to be applied, and where is it going to be utilized? And it seems like we're probably going to be able to see it being utilized in the next arc, effectively. In this upcoming arc, we're going to be able to see it being utilized very much so. And I think that'll be amazing to see how much of a boost it truly gives him, because I do think it's going to be basically, I mean, it says extreme boost, right, when it comes to his VT ability. So I wonder if it pushes him to basically the stats of a high level 6 effectively, or low level 7 technically, because of his additional stats and everything. I do wonder if it's basically him becoming a low level 7 or something like that, stats wise alone, that is to say. We're gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be very interesting as well to see if he is going to get an updated stats sheet as well, because the status sheet we saw in Danmachi Volume 20 was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, midway through his training with eyes, basically. I think it was like day 1 or day 2 into his training with eyes. So we have to see the effects of the last couple of days of training with eyes, especially when she was using Ariel against him. His training with Leon as well, and all of that sort of stuff, that's going to be applied heavily so when it comes to Bell. So we're gonna have to wait and see his what his stats look like. I think he's gonna be a mid to high level 5 already in terms of stats, of course. So it's not without the realm of possibility that you could easily see him being a low level 7 already, thanks to VT, of course, right? It's going to be very impressive. It is going to be very, very impressive, of course, to say the least. Now, we got to go over to the next familia. Now, remember, one of the things that we also saw, thanks to the short stories, of course, right, both Eyes and Loki's short story, is one, Eyes is being controlled and dominated at this point. She's almost being consumed entirely. It is very, very close. And of course, we also saw in Loki's short story that she has already begun the process of recruiting other familiars. She's gone and got, permission, as well as, an acceptance and help from both the Hermes and Ganesha Familia. She's even gotten permission from, of course, Freya herself as well, to utilize her Familia members. So let's break it down on what I think is going to happen with the Freya Familia. So first and foremost, we got to talk about the big man himself, Otaral, of course, right? We know that he was on floor 49. We know that the second string of the Loki Familia saw him on the way down, and a lot of people were thinking of what the situation will be with Otaral, right? Otaral, I think, is going to help, but a lot of people are thinking he's going to go straight down to help them rather than going back up. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's going to kill Balor. And then he's going to go up and get the level boost. I think is going to be what happens. I don't think he's going to go straight down to help the Loki Familia. I don't see that happening. You have to remember that Otaral is very set in his ways. Sometimes he is willing to obviously go up against what his goddess desires, but more often than not, he won't do it until Freya is basically, you know, really interested in it. And this is something he even said in Oratoria Volume 15 when Finn asked him for help. He said that, you know, your goddess did accept help, but he was like, no, she didn't mean it though. She didn't really mean it. She didn't really want us to go. She's just said yes, but she doesn't want us to go, so we're not gonna go. And so I do think that once Balor is dead, I do think Otaral is going to come back up. I think we're going to see him go up to level 8. I do think that's going to happen. Freya's going to, you know, do her shenanigans, update the status and everything. And we're going to see him join the squad. I do think he will join the squad, but I do think he will come up first to get that level 8 boost and then come back down with Bell and everybody else as well to, of course, rescue the Loki Familia. Alan, I don't think... do I think Alan will join? Maybe, or maybe. I think Alan is a maybe. I do think Alan and the Galore brothers are a big maybe in my opinion. They're the ones that I find a bit tricky, but I do think that if they are given the opportunity to go down to obviously gain a chance at leveling up as well, they will take it. Because remember, the one thing to note is that this is a very, very strong enemy that they're facing. I mean, they're basically facing a bunch of ISs, effectively, a bunch of level 6 adventurers, a bunch of highly experienced level 6 adventurers in the form of eyes. I think they will go down as well to just get that level boost. It'll be also saying like, oh, we're doing this because Freya told us to do it, but they'll also do it to try and get those levels as well. And of course, Hayden, I think, will 100% go down, of course, right? With Bell going down, Haruhime going down, you know, and also with the fact that Rivera is down there and everything. I think Hayden will go down now, especially now that Freya's given him permission and everything. I think Hayden is a 100% going down for sure. It's just the Alan and the Gulliver brothers in terms of the proper Einhajar. I don't know if they're gonna go down, to be quite honest. I'm not sure on them. The other one I think is gonna go down, in all honesty, is Heath. I think Heath is going to be 100% going down to be the healer for the team, basically for this squad particularly. I think Heath is going to join them 100%. 110%. I think we're going to see Heath joining them. Could we see the other Eindrimnar members? Potentially. But I think Heath is a certainty for sure. So in the Freya Familia, I think Otaral, Hayden, and Heath are guaranteed. Alan and Gulliver brothers, I feel like there's a good chance they might say no. But there's also a very good chance they could say yes as well. I think they're a very big 50-50 in my eyes. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think they'll come down or not? It's going to be very interesting. Of course, I think the Hermes Familia is going to probably send a couple of people. I think, of course, we're going to see probably like Savasvi, Falger, and stuff like that. They'll probably join them for sure, no matter what. 100%, I think that's going to happen. So expect to see the Hermes Familia joining in. Ganesha Familia, this is going to be the first time we'll probably see them, properly see them outside of, I guess, Oratoria 12, down below as well in the dungeon properly as well. Shakti, Ilta, and so on and so forth. 100%, 110% they're going to join. So I think the Ganesha and Hermes Familias, they will probably join. No doubt about it. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a doubt in my mind that they're gonna join. It's going to go. It is going to go. Absolutely, they're gonna go. The next set of people are, I think the school district side is guaranteed. I think Leon will 100% join Bell and the gang down to the rescue mission. I think they'll 100% join the rescue mission. I don't know who else might join the rescue mission from the school district, but I do think Leon is a certainty, because one thing that we also know about Leon is that he likes to go into the dungeon at least once every time he comes to Orario. I don't think he's done that dungeon dive yet, but also to also help with Bel's training and to get an idea of the situation at hand and everything. And of course, because he's probably one of the few who also is very scared about the one-eyed black dragon and everything, he'll want to ensure that the Loki Familia comes out unscathed, or as unscathed as it can be, obviously coming out of coming out of the dungeon. So I think Leon is a certainty here. It's a question of if we'll see the likes of Malik and a couple of others joining in, but I think Leon is 100% a guaranteed. I think 100% we're going to see Leon joining in. Now, these are a little bit more out there, these ones. I do think there's a good chance we could see the likes of Telskura probably sending in some people to help as well, like the likes of Argana and Bosch as well. Of course, we know their links with Tiona, and so on and so forth. So it is very possible that we could see the likes of Argana and Bosch joining in quite late on, but joining in nonetheless. There is a possibility we could see the likes of course, some people from Melon as well coming in and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have been theorizing that, there's a good chance that we could see the Rakia Familia coming in as well, to try, to potentially take over Oratoria while everybody's absolutely destroyed and, or distracted as well. I don't know if that's going to actually happen. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. Some people are also potentially pointing out that the Poseidon Familia, we know who are around. We've just not had the opportunity to see them. They are present. They do exist. They were all obviously, important factors in obviously helping the Zeus and Hera families defeating the Leviathan. So they are obviously aware of the dangers and are pretty high leveled, it seems like, of course, right? So surely they could also come in and make their first appearance as well. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with external familiars. I think it's a possibility in that sense, right? Now, I want to talk about obviously the Loki Familia and what will happen down there. So first and foremost, I think we're going to see them go down there. We know obviously Amori's already said that Bell is going to be in some serious trouble or is going to go through some emotional damage basically come, volume 21 and Sword Oratoria volume 16, of course, right? I think the emotional damage that Amori is talking about when it comes to Bell, to be quite honest, is probably him having to kill multiple Eyes Wallensteins in the dungeon. I think that's probably what it is more so than anything else. I think we're going to see that being his biggest problem is, actually going in for the kill on all these Eyes clones. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one and it's going to be causing him a lot of emotional damage. But he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to do it. And I think that's where we're going to see a little bit of emotional damage. The other emotional damage aspect that a lot of people have been talking about is, of course, our first proper main cast death. We've obviously seen Line pass away. We've obviously seen a lot of other random characters also pass away. But we've not seen a major character pass away. We've not seen somebody from like a significant significant plot point standpoint kind of character pass away. We've not seen that sort of thing, right? Do I think somebody's gonna die? Yes, I think we're gonna at least see one person die. I think there's a very good chance we could see one from the rescue side die and one from the existing expedition familiar side or alliance die. So like somebody who's going in to rescue them dies, and somebody who's already present or down there already in the dungeon also dies. I think there's a good chance that we could see two deaths probably. A lot of people will probably say Tiona is of course the likeliest option. I think it's a little bit of a red herring. I do think it's a bit of a red herring in the sense of it's an easy target. It's an easy one, right? She's the most injured of the lot. We know her hand is either mangled or severed. We know she's got head injury. We know she's got a hole in her side. She's torn. She's torn to shreds, effectively, right? We know that she's basically torn to shreds. But I don't think she's gonna die. I think that she's gonna be healed up and she'll be fine. I think out of everybody, I think there's a very good chance Gareth is my choice. A lot of people are saying Reveria and Finn. Reveria is a good choice, in all honesty, for a sacrificial standpoint. In terms of course, saving Eyes, right? Kind of. With her being like a mother figure to Eyes and everything. And of course, that whole situation, right? The lover and the mother, saving Eyes kind of thing, with Belle saving Eyes alongside Reveria or something like that. That could happen. Maybe that would be something to see at least, right? But maybe. But I think Gareth is the likelier one to die, because I still feel like Finn and Reveria will probably die. One of them will probably die during the One-Eyed Black Dragon fight. I think they're going to still be saved for the One-Eyed Black Dragon fight, and I think their deaths will come a little bit later. I do think Gareth is probably one of the likeliest ones, for me at least, to probably die, in all honesty. In terms of the rescue side, you know what? It would be a little bit out there, and maybe people might not perceive it as a main cast member, but with how often she appears and how often she's helped Belle and the, Hestia Familia and so on and so forth, and how integral she is to her own familia. How about Asfi dies? It's a bit of an oddball decision. It may not even happen, but I do think it's one of those out there ones where it really doesn't, of course, affect the Freya Familia and so on and so forth. But it does directly affect, of course, Hermes' perception on and the seriousness that he's going to have to take, of course, in preparing the familia, and of course every other familia as well for the final fight. He's going to be a lot more serious. It's going to, we're going to see a big change in, his personality potentially as well because of Asfi dying. So why not Asfi? That would be very interesting. I think that would be my call potentially. If I had to say somebody from the rescue squad dying, Asfi would be kind of low-key my bet, because it would just cause a lot more chaos and a lot more interest in terms of a potential plotline when they do come out of the dungeon. That's just my opinion, of course, right? My opinion, of course. At the end of the day, it is my opinion. Could we see some of the Xenoses dying? Maybe, but potentially, actually. I think the Xenoses also have a very good chance at potentially dying, purely because of the fact that, well, at the end of the day, we are also seeing them go up against, we're going and seeing them go up against effectively a Eyes with the ability to potentially use Avenger, which means that they're going to be strong. She's going to be stronger against monsters. These guys are monsters. So we're going to have to wait and see on that front and figure out what's the situation there, of course, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in regards to that and stuff like that. In terms of bold predictions, I'm trying to think of bold predictions here. I had a really bold prediction in mind, and I've just lost it immediately now. Damn, I really had a very big, very nice, a good bold prediction, but I completely forgot about it now. Shit, I really wanted to go over it, because I think it's a very funny one, but I think it's a very interesting one that could happen as well, to be quite honest. I really do think it could happen, but now I've completely forgotten what it is. I would probably say, so, okay, let me go over some other bold predictions while we're here. Coming out of the dungeon, we're going to see a lot of level ups. I think we're going to see almost every single individual that hasn't recently leveled up and is not called Belle level up. And is called Belle, but isn't, except Belle in that quick level up skill. Basically what I'm trying to say, I think Belle will level up, even though he's just recently leveled up. I think he'll level up again 100% when he comes out of the dungeon. And I think everybody else who's not leveled up recently will also gain a level up and a huge stats bonus. I 100% think that's gonna happen. So when they do come out of the dungeon, that'll happen. Now, I don't know if that'll happen in the next novel particularly. It could happen in volume 22. I don't think that this is going to be just a one arc rescue mission, by the way, or one novel rescue mission. I think it's going to be split into 2 novels, is my guess. But I think that's going to be the case as well, is that I think I think we're going to see a load of level ups coming into volumes 21 and volume 22 of the main series, of course, right? My second bold prediction. Oh yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. It's a bit of a funny one, but knowing Amori, it might happen. Even though in SF volume 15, it says that both Lafia and Belle will be the ones to launch the counterattack, right? I think Danmachi volume 31 will actually not feature Lafia that much. To the degree of what her importance should be based on what was said, I don't think she's gonna have as much importance in volume 21, which will be hilarious. It'll be so funny, because this has just been a recurring theme of, Amori not wanting to include Lafia in the main series for some reason or another, even though she is his favorite character, or favorite elf, at least I should say. I think it's a very good possibility that might happen. I think it's a very good possibility that might happen, which will be hilarious to say the least. It'll be very funny if it does happen. The third prediction I have, and this is my third bold prediction, I would say, is that we're probably going to see, and this is when I say it's bold, I do think it's very bold. I think we're probably gonna see a big level character dying. Obviously, I suggested Gareth, but I also think it's not possible for somebody like Oratoria maybe to die, or Leon maybe, which would really gut, of course, their chances of facing off against the OEBD, in my opinion. But it would be very much a case of like, oh shit, kind of thing. You know, that's one more down. I don't know how they're gonna face the OEBD kind of thing. You know, it'll add up to that as well. Again, I think that's one of those out there ones that it's very bold and I don't think will happen. But if it does, well, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. But let me know your guys' bold predictions and your guys' thoughts on what might happen in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below in the comment section in regards to what you think is going to happen, you know, people who are going to participate and stuff like that. Like I said, I've given my predictions on who I think is going to be part of the rescue mission, who I think is going to die, and a couple of bold predictions in terms of what might happen. Of course, right, in terms of like, of course, I think Rivera, Bell might be the ones to save in terms of emotional damage, what we could see, and so on and so forth. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see how you guys think things will pan out. It's a hard language, English, when you especially have words that sound exactly the same. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.